The How to Train Your Dragon franchise has so many weird and wonderful dragons that it's almost impossible to keep count of all of them. So in today's video, we'll make your life easier and break down every single dragon we encounter in the movie franchise. Let's start off with the dragons in the boulder class. Measuring 14 feet long and having a wingspan of 18 feet, the Gronkle is one of the smaller boulder class dragons in the franchise. But don't let its size fool you, because the Gronkle is incredibly strong and weighs over 5,700 pounds. This dragon can easily physically overpower larger dragons and cause heavy damage by swinging its clubbed tail. Fishlegs chooses to ride a Gronkle called Meatlug because it's one of the few dragons that can comfortably bear his weight. Furthermore, even though its smaller wingspan sacrifices speed, the Gronkle rapidly flaps its wings like a hummingbird to increase maneuverability and can fly sideways and backwards as well. The Gronkle also possesses immense jaw strength, being able to crush large rocks and eat them. These rocks serve as fuel for the Gronkle's fire, which is basically lava produced in its stomach. What makes the Gronkle's firepower so unique is that even though it has a 6-shot limit, the dragon can rapidly recharge as long as there are rocks nearby for it to eat. When this dragon eats iron ore along with limestone and sandstone, its lava can be used to produce a unique metal called Gronkle iron. This metal is lighter and stronger than regular iron, and weapons forged with it can even cut through dragon-proof metal. The Hot Purple is a medium-sized boulder-class dragon the Vikings encounter in the Hidden World that measures about 24 feet long with a wingspan of 42 feet. This dragon is the slower, louder, and more aggressive cousin of the Gronkle, sharing many physical characteristics but preferring to eat iron ore instead of rocks. While it may be slow, the Hot Purple takes on an entirely different form in battle, wreaking havoc with its magma-based fire and power club tail. This dragon is so strong and heavily armored that it can haphazardly crash into and damage everyone around it without worrying about hurting itself. The Hot Purple also possesses exceptional jaw strength, outclassing even other boulder-class dragons as it can bite through iron ore, and even generate enough force to deform dragon-proof metal. Despite their aggressive nature, Hot Purples can be valuable assets if they train and bond with patient handlers who understand their territorial instincts. The Shovel Helm is a medium-sized boulder-class dragon measuring approximately 30 feet long with a wingspan of 40 feet. This dragon is known among Vikings as Burke's Builders due to their incredible construction abilities. The Shovel Helm's most distinctive feature is its massive shovel-like lower jaw that can excavate enormous amounts of earth and stone. Their incredibly hard skulls allow them to function as living hammers, capable of shaping metal and stone with precision strikes. The Shovel Helm's amiable nature is another reason it excels as a builder, since it's always willing to cooperate with humans and other dragons alike. These dragons also have high strength and stamina, and a Shovel Helm named Clawlifter was sent by Valka to snatch Hiccup off Toothless' back when he flew too close to Valka's sanctuary. The Snafflefang is a medium-sized boulder-class dragon measuring approximately 30 feet long with a wingspan of 40 feet. These dragons are playful creatures that love eating geodes and care for little else. As such, they're pretty easy to train and bond with their riders quickly. The first Snafflefang introduced to us is Lump, a dragon rescued by Valka after he lost his right leg in an iron trap. Lump appears to have recovered both physically and mentally from the loss of his leg, and is naturally curious and welcoming of other new dragons. As their diet consists of geodes, Snafflefangs have incredibly tough teeth resembling diamonds. These can crush and grind minerals or virtually anything that comes between them. In terms of firepower, the Snafflefang possesses a distinctive orange flame that burns bright enough to light up dark caves. Snafflefang fireballs are also filled with the remnants of their diet, adding crystal shrapnel to their fireballs. The Crimson Goregutter is a large boulder-class dragon measuring approximately 65 feet long with a wingspan of 90 feet. We see this dragon for the first time in the third movie, when the dragon riders rescue a Goregutter from the dragon hunter ships. These dragons are majestic creatures, sporting an enormous pair of antlers and an axe-shaped tail club that can be used as a deadly weapon in combat. They also possess armor plating so thick that most weapons simply bounce off their hide. Despite being so powerful, the Crimson Goregutter is a mild-mannered dragon that is extremely loyal to its alpha and its friends. It will only attack when provoked, but once it begins, this dragon will keep on fighting until the threat has been eliminated. Much like other boulder-class dragons, the Crimson Goregutter's firepower consists of molten lava, which it sometimes uses to coat its fireproof antlers before charging into battle. Next up, we have the Mystery-class dragons. Measuring 66 feet in length with a wingspan of 38 feet, the hideous Zippleback is a unique two-headed dragon. While their twin heads contain two independent dragons, they can transmit information instantly between each other, and one head can fully take over the body if the other is unconscious. Due to this, the hideous Zippleback is a great case of two heads being better than one, as it is highly intelligent and can solve complex problems. This dragon is also great at multitasking, with one head watching out for danger and the other hunting for prey. Fittingly, the twins selected a hideous Dibbleback as their dragon, with Roughnut naming the left head Barf and Toughnut calling the right one Belch. The hideous Dibbleback has an interesting synergy between its parts, with one head producing flammable gas and the other creating an electrical spark, allowing for devastating explosive attacks that can level entire structures. The Zibbleback's ability to separate its gas and ignition functions mean it can create complex tactical scenarios, such as hiding behind a veil of gas, or setting itself on fire and charging the enemy as a flaming wheel of destruction. The Bone Napper is a large-sized mystery-class dragon, measuring approximately 34 feet in length, with a wingspan of roughly 45 feet. While we never see it on the big screen, Hiccup does come across an entry about the Bone Napper while reading the Dragon Manual in the first movie. This rare and elusive dragon has an obsessive desire to collect bones from various dragon skeletons to create the perfect suit of armor for its body. It's known to travel vast distances and go to extraordinary lengths to find the perfect bone to complete its collection. Some bone nappers will even risk their lives to find the perfect piece for their suit of armor. The bone napper needs this armor because its natural hide is surprisingly weak, making it vulnerable to attacks from other dragons or human weapons. Once the bone napper's armor is complete, it becomes far more approachable, and is far more friendly to humans and dragons alike, indicating that its aggressive behavior stems from frustration and vulnerability, rather than pure malice. The Changewing is a medium-sized mystery dragon that measures about 52 feet long, with a wingspan of 30 feet. When Hiccup reads about this dragon in the Dragon Manual, one line stands out: "Even newly hatched dragons can spit acid, kill on sight." In addition to their devastating acid blasts, Changewings are masters of camouflage, being able to change the color and texture of their scales to match the surroundings. Combined with its stealthy movement, the Changewing can easily sneak up on its prey or escape threats by completely blending into the natural environment. What makes the Changewing even more dangerous is its hypnotic eyes. The dragon can hypnotize and issue commands to dragons as powerful as the Purple Death, meaning that only Bewilderbeast and the Red Death can rival its mind control abilities. Despite their strength, Changewings live in packs and care very little about power or domination. However, they're fiercely territorial and protective of their young, meaning that any intruders are in for a really bad time. The Snaptrapper is a large mystery-class dragon measuring approximately 60 feet in length, with a wingspan of 35 feet. We encounter it both in the Dragon Manual and in Fishleg's dragon cards in the movies. This unique dragon is like a more complicated version of the hideous Zippleback, as it possesses 4 separate heads, each with its own personality and decision-making capabilities. Being one of the most complex dragons in terms of coordination and intelligence, the Snaptrapper is not fast or agile, forcing it to become an ambush specialist. The Snaptrapper's signature ability is to produce a sweet scent like chocolate that can attract other dragons into its trap and schemes. This dragon is also capable of producing a methane-based flammable mist that can surround its targets in a cloud of flame. In addition to these abilities, the Snaptrapper can also generate a highly corrosive acid and a deadly venom. Due to their excellent stealth, these dragons prefer dense forest environments, where their camouflage is most effective, and they're known to remain motionless for hours while waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. The Hobgobbler is a small mystery-class dragon measuring approximately 3 feet long with a wingspan of 5 feet. The Hobgobbler appeared in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, when the dragon riders rescued one and brought it back to Berk. Gobber is terrified of Hobgobblers because he thinks they bring bad luck. Despite being among the tiniest dragons in the franchise, Hobgobblers make up for their size through their incredible appetite and mischievous nature. Hobgobblers possess incredibly powerful digestive systems capable of breaking down virtually any material they consume, including metal and wood. When hungry, Hobgobblers fall into a feeding frenzy, and a swarm of them can consume the entire deck of a Viking ship within seconds. Despite their troublemaking tendencies, Hobgobblers are generally harmless creatures with more interest in finding their next meal than causing serious damage. They're capable of producing flammable saliva that burns to produce a relatively weak flame. Hobgobblers use their saliva to coat themselves and slip out of tight spots instead. And with that, let's move on to the Sharp class. The Speed Stinger is a small dragon measuring about 7 feet long with tiny wing appendages that don't allow for true flight. What this dragon lacks in flying ability, it more than makes up for in ground speed, as no dragon can outrun it on land. At its maximum velocity, the Speed Stinger is so fast that it can run on water, climb up walls, and even run upside down on cave roofs. With their high intellect and pack hunting abilities, Speed Stingers are the velociraptors of the dragon world, and can easily take down much larger opponents. Each pack has a lead Speed Stinger, distinguished by its bright red stripes and fins. Their most dangerous weapon is their venomous Tail Stinger, which can inject a paralyzing toxin that immobilizes prey and enemies within seconds. Their venom is so strong it can even take down monstrous nightmares. The Timberjack is a gigantic sharp class dragon that measures an impressive 171 feet in length with a wingspan of 315 feet. This dragon's massive razor-sharp wings can slice through entire forests of trees in a single pass, and not even the thickest tree trunk can slow down its flight. Given that it flies through trees on the regular, the Timberjack's wings are extremely durable, and they can withstand dragon fire and human weapons. Despite its enormous size, the Timberjack is surprisingly graceful in flight, able to navigate through tight spaces with precision that seems impossible for such a large creature. Even though the Timberjack's main weapon is its wings, the dragon is also capable of producing an oil-based fire that burns hotter than most fuel-based dragon fires. However, this dragon is not an aggressive species, often helping out humans by chopping wood with its wings and helping them set logs alight with its oil. The Raincutter is a mysterious sharp class dragon that grows to approximately 50 feet in length with a wingspan of 60 feet. The first Raincutter we encounter in the movies is Thump, a dragon who lost one of its wings to a razor net and found sanctuary in Valka's mountain. Thriving in stormy conditions, this dragon's most distinctive feature is the sharp sails on its back and head, which make it more aerodynamic and by extension faster. The Raincutter's most useful ability is producing flames that remain ignited in damp and rainy conditions, giving it a significant advantage when fighting or hunting in stormy weather. This dragon can also fire pressurized balls of water at its opponents, using its large belly as a storage tank to charge up its shots. Despite being massive enough to tackle larger prey, the Raincutter primarily feeds on grubs and worms that thrive in damp soil, explaining the dragon's preference for wetter climates. The Scuttleclaw is a medium-sized sharp-class dragon, measuring about 20 feet long with a wingspan of 19 feet. When Drago's Bewilderbeast became the alpha dragon in the second movie, the Vikings were left with only a group of baby Scuttleclaws because they listened to no one. Even in their adult form, Scuttleclaws tend to be hyperactive and difficult to control. Even though this makes it undesirable to tame Scuttleclaws, their unpredictable nature makes them deadly on the battlefield, as they're almost impossible to keep track of. Even in its juvenile form, this dragon is strong enough to carry an adult Viking on its back. Although they don't take orders very well, Scuttleclaws are friendly dragons and don't mind if a human is riding them. The Stormcutter is a large, sharp-class dragon measuring approximately 31 feet long with a wingspan of 48 feet. Valka's dragon Cloudjumper is a member of this species. The Stormcutter is set apart from the other dragons by its distinctive X-shaped set of wings, which give it excellent maneuverability. It can perform many complex aerial movements such as taking sharp turns, hovering in place, sideways flight, and navigating through tricky rock formations. When resting, the Stormcutter uses its second set of wings as a pair of front legs, placing their claws on the ground as it walks. This dragon's firepower consists of a tornado-shaped blast similar to the Typhoomerang, which it can sustain for prolonged periods of time to force back adversaries. In close combat, the Stormcutter's sharp talons and beak make it a dangerous opponent. This dragon can also rotate its head 180 degrees like an owl, an ability that is amplified by the Stormcutter's high intelligence and problem-solving abilities. These dragons are masters of using their environment to their advantage and developing tactics on the fly. The Thornridge is a medium-sized sharp-class dragon measuring about 43.5 feet long with a wingspan of 54 feet. These dragons are silent and reserved, often preferring to avoid the action of the front line in any situation. While many Thornridges are seen on Valka's mountain, they don't approach Hiccup or Toothless as enthusiastically as the other dragons. However, the Thornridge is also incredibly brave and loyal, and will rush into battle to defend its friends or family. The Thornridge gets its name from the sharp, thorn-like spines that can be found all over its body. While the V-shaped nasal horns are great for offensive purposes, the spines along the dragon's back are great defensive tools. Thornridges typically breathe orange-yellow fireballs, but some individuals have been observed to blast thick streams of yellow-green fire. Thornridges are also capable of holding fire in their mouths to illuminate dark places. The Windstriker is a large sharp-class dragon measuring approximately 52 feet long with a wingspan of 70 feet. These dragons have a long, slender neck and jagged-edged wings, as well as several spikes on their tail and neck, along with a large one on the tip of their snout. Windstrikers do not breathe fire, and instead blast jets of superheated air at their targets. They're also strong and durable, excelling in aerial combat against dragons of similar size. We see a Windstriker named Winged Warden in How to Train Your Dragon 2 defending Valka's Sanctuary from Drago's armored Thunderclaws. The Windstriker is also known for its skydiving maneuvers, a skill that very few dragons can master. Instead of changing direction at the last moment, they can also use this technique to dive bomb enemy dragons and attack them from above. Moving on to the next category, we have the Stoker class. Being roughly about 64 feet long and having a wingspan of 72 feet, the Monstrous Nightmare is one big angry Stoker class dragon. Few dragons are more ferocious and territorial than this one, as it's always ready to set the entire landscape ablaze at a moment's notice. The monstrous nightmare is a living furnace, capable of lighting up their entire body with intense flames while remaining completely unharmed. The secret behind this ability is the kerosene gel that the monstrous nightmare secretes, which is flammable when produced, but turns into a heat-resistant adhesive when dry. Setting its attack power aside, this dragon is also extremely durable, as its fire resistance also extends to attacks from other dragons. Furthermore, its tough hide can resist most weapons, making arrows and hammers bounce off with little to no damage inflicted. Their intimidating size, coupled with their fierce temperament and tendency to attack first and ask questions later, makes the monstrous nightmare one of the most feared dragons among Viking communities. Snotlout's dragon is a monstrous nightmare named Hookfang, lining up perfectly with the young Viking's arrogant and aggressive personality. The Terrible Terror is among the smallest Stoker-class dragons in the franchise, measuring only 1.5 feet long with a wingspan of about 2 feet. But don't let its size fool you. This little dragon packs a surprising amount of firepower and attitude into its tiny frame. Their fire blasts are small, concentrated, and highly accurate, making them snipers almost on par with the Night Fury. Their small size also allows them to access areas that larger dragons cannot, making them excellent scouts and infiltrators. While traveling out in the open, Terrible Terrors form packs of 5 to 10, and are known to sing on the rooftops of Berk, keeping Vikings awake through the night with their chirps and squawks. Also, believe it or not, this dragon was critical in defeating the Red Death in the first movie, as Hiccup only learned the trick of shooting fire into a dragon's mouth when Toothless did the same to a Terrible Terror that challenged him. The Hobblegrunt is a medium-sized Stoker-class dragon measuring about 55 feet long with a wingspan of 63 feet. Just like other dragons in the Stoker class, the Hobblegrunt is capable of producing a bright and powerful flame that is capable of lighting up dark caves. This dragon is known for its unique color-changing scales, which cause the Hobblegrunt to change its appearance depending on its mood. In the movies, Valka introduces Hiccup to a blind Hobblegrunt called Gruff, who lives happily within Valka's mountain. But despite being blind, Gruff can sense his surroundings using the large frill on his head. Hobblegrunts can use this specialized appendage to detect changes in pressure, temperature, and the moods of nearby dragons and humans. Even though they're emotionally sensitive, Hobblegrunts typically have a calm disposition. However, if they're in an unpleasant situation, these dragons can become tense and aggressive with their scales turning a bright red. The Fireworm is a Stoker-class dragon that is also the smallest in the franchise, measuring about 7 inches long with a wingspan of 3.5 inches. These tiny dragons are essentially living flames, with bodies that burn so intensely they set fire to anything that gets near them. Fireworms are also highly social creatures that work together in large swarms, combining their individual heat to create much larger and more intense fires. Hiccup and Astrid encountered such a swarm soon after they entered the Hidden World for the first time. These fireworm colonies are ruled by a female dragon called the Fireworm Queen. Unlike the drones, queens can grow to massive sizes of over 90 feet in length and have a wingspan of 36 feet. Despite their potential for destruction, fireworms are generally peaceful creatures that prefer to avoid conflict and focus on taking care of their hive. The Threadtail is a large Stoker-class dragon measuring about 82 feet long with a wingspan of 76 feet. This dragon possesses one of the most unusual biological conditions in the Dragon Kingdom. It's allergic to its own poison. When the Threadtail is agitated, it produces a toxin that causes painful convulsions in other dragons. However, this chemical also irritates the Threadtail's skin, causing it to be in a constant state of mild discomfort. To warn other dragons of its poisonous skin, the Threadtail often takes on bright and vibrant colors like pink, bright green, pale blue, and bright yellow. The Threadtail's flames take on a normal yellow color and are not particularly remarkable. It can also generate a non-toxic purple mist that can be used as a smokescreen. We first encountered the Threadtail on Valka's mountain, where they were seen lighting up some caves. Being solitary creatures, the dragons didn't leave their post to greet Hiccup and Toothless. The Red Death is a massive Stoker dragon that terrorized the Viking world as the ultimate predator until it was taken down by Hiccup and Toothless. Reaching over 400 feet in length with a wingspan of 550 feet, this 22,000-pound dragon is an absolute monstrosity that threatens humans and dragons alike. As an alpha species, Red Deaths possess the ability to force smaller dragons to obey their will. It uses this power to make other dragons hunt and scavenge for food, even against their natural survival instincts. This dragon uses methane to produce enormous flame jets that can effortlessly incinerate entire fleets of Viking ships in seconds. Meanwhile, the Red Death's powerful inhalation creates a vacuum that can suck dragons into its mouth, with Astrid and Stormfly nearly getting devoured once. This dragon's entire body is covered in dense scales and horns, and along with its thick hide, these features make the Red Death virtually invincible. Catapult shots simply bounce off it, and the dragon can throw its weight about to smash through rocks and boulders unharmed. The Red Death's incredible durability allows it to even resist plasma blasts from Night Furies, making it incredibly difficult to challenge its right to rule. Next up, we have the dangerous Strike class. The Night Fury is a legendary dragon that has earned the terrifying nickname the unholy offspring of lightning and death itself. With a sleek body about 29 feet long and a wingspan of about 52 feet, Night Furies are far more menacing than their size suggests. These dragons are the rarest and most intelligent of them all, distinguished by their sleek black scales and piercing eyes. Night Furies don't breathe traditional fire, and instead they fire concentrated plasma blasts with pinpoint accuracy and tremendous amounts of control. As demonstrated by Toothless, a Night Fury's blasts have a wide range, including a small spark to light a stove, a concussive shot that stuns humans, a deadlier attack that can kill a Viking in one shot, or a tremendous blast strong enough to knock down a Red Death. This dragon's incredible speed makes it nearly invisible during night flights, and their intelligence rivals that of humans. Just like its light counterpart, the Night Fury can blend itself into the night sky, but it achieves this by using electricity to heat up its scales. Together with Hiccup, Toothless has proven time and again that Night Furies can adapt their fighting style to any situation, making strategic decisions that have turned the tide of countless battles. The Skrill is a medium-sized strike-class dragon measuring about 22 feet long, with a wingspan of 40 feet. As Hiccup reads this dragon's entry in the Dragon Manual, the Skrill is described as a highly secretive creature that rides lightning bolts and can only be found during electrical storms. Skrills possess the unique ability to absorb electricity from lightning bolts and store the energy within themselves. It uses the metallic spines along its back to channel that electricity and fire it as devastating lightning blasts through its mouth. In an emergency, the Skrill can discharge its entire reserve of lightning in all directions, unleashing a wave of electricity that will stun anything in its path. However, this ability is rarely used, as it leaves the dragon vulnerable afterward. In addition to riding lightning bolts at hypersonic speed, the Skrill can also use electric charges to accelerate its flight, making it the fastest known dragon in stormy conditions. The Death Gripper is a medium-sized strike-class dragon measuring approximately 28 feet long with a wingspan of 39 feet. The Death Gripper first appeared in How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, serving as Grimmel's signature weapon in his quest to hunt down the Night Furies. These dragons are built like living weapons with scorpion-like tails to inject toxins, a venomous bite, and the ability to fire a highly corrosive acid at its victims. The Death Gripper's venom has a variety of properties that begin with mind-controlling effects that allow them to manipulate other dragons, turning allies into enemies. A slightly more intense form causes paralysis, and the second injection puts the prey out of its misery. This dragon also has a pair of powerful retractable tusks that can be used to impale its victims or pry away another dragon's armor to effectively inject its venom. The Death Gripper's acidic spit can melt through almost any material, and is also highly flammable. As highly intelligent pack hunters, these dragons' ability to strategize and overwhelm a target with numbers make them incredibly dangerous opponents. The Light Fury is a medium-sized strike-class dragon measuring approximately 22 feet long with a wingspan of 42 feet. The Light Fury is a variation of the Night Fury that has its own unique qualities and abilities. Light Furies possess the remarkable ability to become completely invisible by heating their scales and bending light around themselves, making them the ultimate stealth predators. This camouflage ability, combined with their incredible speed and plasma blast attacks, make them nearly impossible to track or counter in combat. Light Furies are generally more cautious and suspicious than Night Furies, preferring to observe potential threats from a distance before making contact. However, once they form bonds with humans or other dragons, they become incredibly loyal and protective companions. Now let's move on to the deep seas with the Tidal-class dragons. The Skaldron is a massive Tidal-class dragon that can grow up to 102 feet in length with a wingspan of 104 feet. This dragon is first mentioned by Fishlegs in the How to Train Your Dragon movie when he notes the Skaldron's unique firepower. Instead of fire, Skaldrons scoop massive quantities of water into their mouths, heat it until it boils, and fire scalding jets of superheated water and steam at their targets. Due to its incredible size, the Skaldron is an alpha predator of the seas, and one of the few species that hunts other dragons, with its diet consisting of sliquifiers and sea shockers. Skaldrons are surprisingly intelligent for their size, and have been known to use tactical thinking in their attacks. They're also fast, flexible, and stealthy in the sea, and can dive to extreme depths. But despite being immensely strong in its natural habitat, the Skaldron cannot survive too long out of the water, as it will rapidly dry out and perish within hours. The Thunderdrum is a massive Tidal-class dragon measuring about 130 feet long, with a wingspan of 102 feet. This dragon is named for the deafening sonic boom it can produce, which is believed to be a power gotten from Thor himself. itself. The strong concussive sound can deafen a human and even be lethal at close range. When a thunder drum hatches from an egg, it produces a sound so loud it can be heard across entire islands, announcing its arrival to the world. The thunder drum is mostly deaf to protect itself from its own attacks. However, it can acutely sense underwater vibrations, making it a formidable threat in its natural habitat of sea caves and dark tide pools. This dragon's large size and powerful wings make it an excellent flyer, and the thunder drum is equally comfortable at high altitudes and the crushing depths of the ocean. The Sea Shocker is a large tidal-class dragon measuring 180 feet in length, with a wingspan of 62 feet. These are the dragons who rescue Toothless and take him to Valka's sanctuary after he falls into the ocean. Similar to hideous zipplebacks, the Sea Shocker possesses two heads that can think independently. As a deep-sea dragon, the Sea Shocker does not breathe fire, and uses electrical discharge as its primary weapon instead. By joining its two heads to create an electrical circuit, the Sea Shocker can produce a defensive electrical field that can even repel Skuldrons and eject humans up to 60 feet away. The Sea Shocker's twin dorsal blades are razor-sharp and can slice through ice formations with ease. It also possesses abilities including echolocation, bioluminescence, and electrokinesis. In addition to a wide skill set, the Sea Shocker is incredibly agile, moving too fast for the human eye to follow underwater. Despite their predatory nature, Sea Shockers are intelligent creatures that use sophisticated hunting techniques. Their echolocation abilities rival those of dolphins, allowing them to navigate and hunt effectively in the darkest ocean depths. The Bewilderbeast is a colossal tidal-class alpha dragon that can reach lengths of over 650 feet, with a wingspan approaching 275 feet. Bewilderbeasts are so powerful because they're a natural alpha species, which means the strongest Bewilderbeast has the power of complete mind control over other dragons. Drago's Bewilderbeast was a key antagonist of How to Train Your Dragon 2, as it killed the existing alpha to claim the throne for Drago. However, untamed Bewilderbeasts are generally benevolent creatures, using their icy breath to carve habitats for the dragons under its protection, allowing them to maintain their independence. In battle, these dragons breathe supercooled water that freezes into ice crystals as large as themselves, instantly encasing targets in thick ice. Their thick hide serves as the perfect defense, while the Bewilderbeast's massive tusks are a fearsome offensive tool. Despite having wings, this dragon does not seem to be capable of flying. As a tidal-class dragon, the Bewilderbeast is an adept swimmer, and its wings appear to function as fins when underwater. Our final set of dragons are the Tracker class. The Deadly Natter is a medium-sized dragon that reaches about 32 feet long with a wingspan of 52 feet. This is one of the first dragons we see in the movies, and Astrid later goes on to tame a Deadly Natter who she names Stormfly. This dragon's tail is covered in hundreds of spines, which it can fire at approaching enemies. These can either be released as a cluster or shot as single projectiles with deadly accuracy. However, firing spines is only a close-range option, as this dragon also possesses one of the hottest flames in the entire franchise. Known to the Vikings as a magnesium blast, the Deadly Natter's flames are hot enough to melt metal and solid rock. This dragon's main weakness is a blind spot right in front of its nose, probably due to its large horn. A Viking could hide in this blind spot, but the Deadly Natter's sharp senses of hearing and smell will probably give their position away. The Rumblehorn is a large Tracker-class dragon, measuring about 54 feet long with a wingspan of 82 feet. We encounter this dragon in How to Train Your Dragon 3, when we see one fighting against the Dragon Trappers. However, it's quickly subdued with a poison bolt from Grimmel's crossbow. This dragon is renowned for its incredible tracking abilities, possessing one of the most sensitive noses in the entire Dragon Kingdom. The Rumblehorn can track scents across vast distances and through various weather conditions. Together with its high intelligence and determined personality, this dragon is an invaluable ally for search and rescue operations. Rumblehorn are also incredibly strong and can use their horns along with their clubbed tail to beat and batter their opponents. Even though they belong to the Tracker class, Rumblehorns shoot fireballs similar to Boulder-class dragons. While the shot emerges as a white-hot flame, it solidifies into rock if it's allowed to travel far enough to cool down. The Thunderclaw is a medium-sized Tracker-class dragon measuring approximately 31 feet long with a wingspan of 61 feet. We first encounter this dragon when Stoic recalls the last time he saw Drago Bloodfist at the Chiefs meeting. One of Drago's dragons that attacked the Viking leaders was a Thunderclaw. Later on, we see a Thunderclaw named Sailback rescue Toothless near Valka's sanctuary, when he's brought to the shore by Sea Shockers. These dragons are capable of pretty colorful fire breath, producing streams of orange or green flame. But despite being a comparatively strong dragon, the Thunderclaw has a critical weakness to stressful situations. When agitated, this dragon cannot fly, which might explain how Drago captured so many of them. This dragon is typically a pack animal, which gives it the safety in numbers to avoid panicking when faced with a threat. It's also peaceful and easy to train, as we saw with Sailback and Valka. The Snifflehunch is a medium-sized tracker-class dragon measuring 27 feet long with a wingspan of 45 feet. This dragon possesses one of the most advanced olfactory systems in the entire Dragon Kingdom, with a large, oddly shaped nose containing specialized scent receptors. The Snifflehunch can track odors across various terrain and weather conditions, and even detect if a dragon is tame or wild based on scent alone. The Snifflehunches are so inquisitive that they'll often invade your personal space to get a good sniff. The first time we encounter this dragon is when a Snifflehunch named Pestbud sneaks under Toothless Wing on Valka's mountain. These dragons are also known for their fire sneeze, an unusual type of flame that generates intense heat but can't be controlled very well. The Wild Gnasher is a medium-sized tracker-class dragon measuring about 25 feet long with a wingspan of 30 feet. We meet the Wind Gnasher for the first time in Valka's sanctuary, when a dragon named Gust Nudger excitedly welcomes Toothless. This dragon's most distinctive features are the humps on its snout and back, along with the bumps and ridges that cover its body. The Wind Gnasher is unique with the tracker class as it uses both smell and taste to track down dragons. It's described as being able to smell a daisy from 100 miles away with favorable winds, and can detect dragons by tasting the air around it as it flies. The Wind Gnasher is an incredibly tough dragon with a thick hide that can absorb most attacks. It's also strong enough to support the weight of multiple humans and other heavy loads while flying. This dragon possesses the unique ability to breathe ice, producing a blizzard attack that consists of powerful icy winds. However, the Wind Gnasher's primary weapon is its clubbed tail. And that wraps up our list of every single dragon in the How to Train Your Dragon movies. If you liked this video, you can now check this other cool video about the top 20 strongest dragons in the How to Train Your Dragon show. Click on it to see. Go ahead, click it.